Well, this sucks. First thing and we're already late. I'll let you know where we're going. Off we go. Quite late. So no, it did not take us 5 minutes to get in the car. I'm one of those wacky dudes that set their clocks 10, 15 minutes ahead just to give yourself the illusion that you've got more time. Anyway, we headed up to New Hampshire where they were hosting the Homesteaders of New England, which was the first ever conference that I've ever been to. And it was close enough to drive to. It was 3+ hours, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It was super early that we left, so we didn't hit the weekend traffic yet. But even coming home, it was still about that time with all the traffic of the Sunday weekend. But it was great. It was smaller than I expected. It looked smaller, like looking at the pictures from last year, it looked like a smaller event. There were several great speakers, 2 barns, the vendor booths and all that. It was a little small for my taste. I felt like there could have been more, particularly food vendors, crafts, um, just more, and maybe a little more for kids. Um, Homesteaders, especially young ones, they're gonna have kids. They're gonna need something to do. There was it was a big space. There was a lot of place for running around and all that. There was like a little tractory, like made of wood, so the kids were jumping on that. There was a slide off of that for, little kids. So the big kids had to fend for themselves, and it wasn't that many kids. There weren't that many people in general. Um, but luckily the weather was good. It was on the warm side for this time of year, even for New Hampshire, I would say. But I was grateful for that. I would rather be on the hot side than the cold side. I got to meet a couple of the YouTubers that I follow. There's Wicked Awesome Gardening. She's just moved to New Hampshire about a year ago now. Micro Farmer, he's down in Connecticut. He made the 2+ hour trek up there. He only stayed for the day. Jess, big Roots and Refuge Farm fan. She came all the way from South Carolina, so yay to her. And Morgan Gold, he's up in Vermont. Not too far for him, still a hike. And Rick, my Cape Cod life, was there. And that's all I remember. I didn't. I'm not a big social person, so if it's not directly there in front of me, I'm not likely to go out of my comfort zone and go for it. So it wasn't like an influencers type space. You would not have gone there and gotten much from that perspective. But it was, it had variety of different speakers on different topics for Homestead to grow. We were particularly interested in the LGD, livestock guardian dogs talk, because we are in the process of getting another dog now that our fencing is up. And then the sheep talk, which was the first talk of the morning that we had come in. And I was really exhausted. I had not been getting good sleep the last few days because of my sinuses. So it was really hard for me to concentrate. So the first talk was the sheep one, and I was super interested in that. We were late for that, but it still got enough information, good information, and the lady was super kind, and she gave us her number to call her if we had any issues that we ever needed to contact her for. And yeah, because dairy sheep is still on my to want list, whether I get it, on this property or any future one is still time we'll see. What else? Yeah, that was it. It was close to a town, maybe 5 minutes to Keene, which was a pretty big town, lots of shops and all the eateries. We didn't. I booked our lodging way late, like 2 weeks prior to the event, so I was really didn't have much of a choice. So we ended up going to Brattleboro, which was a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes west of the event to lodge. There wasn't much going on, at the space we were at. You had to go to either Keene or Brattleboro. So that was fine. and we ended up in a nice place. So nicely, they had enough time between the the morning and the afternoon sessions, so you could go to town and get a meal and then come back and not miss anything, because there really wasn't much to eat. At There wasn't many choices at the event. But what did we do? We ate McDonald's because that's what the kids wanted, and fast and not so cheap, but relatively cheaper than having to sit down at a restaurant somewhere. All in all, I hope they keep having these events. I hope more people realize that these events exist and participate and go to them. I don't know if I would go again. I guess with kids, because it's a little bit harder to keep an. Oh, it was great for you felt really safe there with the kids. Since it was a small space and everybody is like-minded. I didn't have to watch my kids like a hawk like I normally would in such an open space. But yeah, if it was bigger, then the kids, much as it was great for them to have that environment and exposure, they didn't take away as much as they could have if they were a little bit older. So if I were to go again next year, I might not take all the kids or any of the kids, maybe further on down the line. But I would like to go to more of these. Maybe if they had some other ones, or not necessarily homesteading, related. I would really like to go to a pawpaw festival one of these days. But unfortunately, the next one, like in Pennsylvania, is in a couple of weeks. But that's a trek too. That's also like 3+ hours, and I don't think I have it in me. there's still stuff going on that we want to be homebound for, and not do too many of these crazy trips back to back. But it was a great experience. I'm glad I got to meet the people I met, and hopefully I'll meet them and many more people in the future. Oh, so being not an influencer type space. So I wasn't videoing at all, really. I didn't even take pictures hardly. First of all, my mindset was too tired to do any of that. And second of all, it wasn't that kind of space. So I got a few shots here and there that I'm going to share with you now. Thanks for watching. So I'll harvest more. Bye.
That resilience that you model repeatedly through conversations really stuck out to me as something deeply, deeply important.
So that's the end of the video, and I will see you guys real soon. Thanks for watching. And so now you guys are going to see that in a couple weeks, so you'll know the backstory behind it.
This is Morgan.